Hi, today I'm going to go ahead and take an old bucky head that I've used for experimenting with other things, and I'm going to go ahead and put a fake LED candle on it. Now I just got done showing how to make these candles, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the candle on top of the head so it sits there and I can control the candle. Additionally, I'm going to add some LEDs and a few other items to the skull. Okay, here we go. I've got the candle mounted on top of the skull. I got it looking like it's dripping down. My next step will be to go ahead and cut out the eyes and put the LEDs and the little jewels that I use in here. Now, since this is one of the candles I showed in a previous video on how to make these with a 5-volt supply, I do have the wire sticking out here. Now, this won't need the switch, so I just need to solder these two wires together, and we'll be set to go for the next part. So I had an inspiration after I did the last step. What I was going to do was drill out a little hole in each eye socket, put in an LED, and then cover it up with a little glass bead. Pick the beads up at like Pacatans or Michaels. And on my previous skulls, it makes the eye sockets glow real cool. But as I was going through some of my Halloween stuff, I came across some of these plastic eyeballs. I thought, well, that will look kind of interesting sitting inside the skull. So what I did was I pulled a couple of them out, and I went and I drilled 5 holes in the back. And what I did then is I mounted 5 LEDs. I got a red, yellow, green, blue, and white LED. So what I'm going to do now is cut the eye socket out a little bit better and then put these in there. And here we go. There are the 2 eyes. I have them mounted into the bucky head, and I got them going in different directions. I thought that it would make it look a little bit eerier. Each eye has the 5 LEDs in it. You can see the wires coming off the back. So my next step is I'm going to go ahead and put a speaker in here. I'm going to probably put it here on the side, so let me go ahead and do that. Alright, I went ahead and cut a hole in the side of the skull, and it isn't obvious from the front, so that's really nice. But I do want to protect the speaker, so what I did was, and here's my speaker, is I cut a little piece of window screening. This is just your typical window screen. I'm going to take it, I'm going to glue it on top of the speaker, and then mount it into the side of the skull. So let me go ahead and do that. So I got the speaker mounted. Hopefully you can kind of see it sitting there. It did still have that chrome shine from the original speaker, so what I did was I did hit it with a couple of shots of black spray paint, which won't hurt the speaker at all. Next, I have to find a way of mounting this. Now, if you've watched from the beginning, I had it on this block of wood. And originally, that's what I was going to do. I was just going to leave this block of wood there and then paint it black so you couldn't see it. But I was going through, again, some of my Halloween stuff, and I came across some extra bones I had laying around. So what I did was I took the 2 bones, and I cut little slots in the sides, and I glued them together. So what I'm going to do next is to go ahead and take the 2 bones and mount the skull right on top of it. So I've got the skull mounted onto the bones, and it makes it nice and stable. I did put a little bit of a hot glue over here to make it look like the wax is dripping past that hole, so it doesn't make the hole so noticeable. Now my next step will be to go ahead and put the back on this to mount all the connectors on. I have the plate mounted on the back of the skull. See the connectors there, and you can see that I already started detailing the skull itself. I went ahead and painted all the wax strips red for blood. I used a little paint to bring out some of the original detail of the skull. Brought some of the teeth out. So this is all pretty much done, except for a nice clear coat so the paint doesn't drip off, and then I'm ready to show you how it looks with the eyes operating. So here are the eyes lighting up with the 5 different colored LEDs. So we have red, yellow, green, white, and blue. And when we pan up, and you can see the LED flickering candle, I'll go ahead and pan out. Now of course it's total dark, so it's hard to see anything but the lights. And I have the eyes hooked up to my sequencer from another project. I did find that the LEDs that I used for the red, yellow, and green were a little bit too dim. So probably in the future I'll probably take the eyes out and pick up some super bright LEDs for that. And there's the skull underneath the fluorescent light. And as you can see, you can see the white and the blue light glowing in the eyes, but you can't see the red, yellow, and green. So definitely in the future, probably for next Halloween, I'll pull the eyes back out and replace the red LED, green LED, and yellow LED with super bright versions of them. And then candle flicker at the top. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project.